Thank you very much. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carol, the optional prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. Lord of heaven and earth, as we look at our small corner of the world, of times way back and even now, we want you to be proud of our actions. But if we look back, would we be proud? We want to join the work of making our corner great and take to heart our task of caring for it. We want to be called stewards, reflecting of good times and good images into the world. We don't want to place ourselves above, rather within and among. God, fill us with your creative spirit. Amen.
Thank you. Next, Doug, roll call.
Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mrs. Fatika,
Here.
Dr. Faust,
Here.
Mr. Horton,
Here.
Mrs. Lowell,
Here.
Mr. Rastetter,
Here.
Chairman Leone.
Here. Next on the agenda is hearing of the public. Anybody who wish to be heard, you could be heard right from your seat if you like. Stand up. Please stand up. You have 3 minutes. Give us your name and address if you please.
Erie County Council. My name is Kathy O'Neill. My address is 4633 Lake Pleasant Road, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Kathy.
Erie County Council board members, thank you for your service and dedication to our county government. I am a board member of Healthcare for All PA. Healthcare for All PA is a statewide nonprofit working on healthcare reform in Pennsylvania. In 2009, we conducted a study of every municipality and school district in our Commonwealth to find how a single-payer, improved Medicare for All system would affect their health care costs. What we found supported our claim that such a system would save our public employers and Erie County government a lot of money. We would like to give you the opportunity to learn more about the Pennsylvania Health Care Plan that was introduced in both the PA House and Senate last session. It will be reintroduced shortly into both houses this current session. This system would include doctor and other healthcare professionals, hospitals, dental, vision, addiction treatment, and mental health. In January and February of this year, our local chapter redid the 2009 study for Erie County schools and the most populated municipalities. I had sent out approximately 4 months ago a copy to each of you of the new study. And we are available to meet with you to discuss our findings in detail, and we are currently attending public meetings to educate elected officials. A good primer to learn about what a single-payer, improved Medicare for All would mean for Pennsylvania is the documentary Fix It, Healthcare at the Tipping Point, and I did send each of you a link to that. And thank you for your attention, and we look forward to discussing how the large healthcare costs sitting in your budget could be reduced substantially. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go on, I just slipped my mind, but I want to thank Dave Mitchell for bringing all of this together and welcoming us to Corey. I think he did an excellent job, and I think he should be recognized for that. Cindy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Well, first, thank you, all of you, for your service, and a lot of people in this room also for your service to this community. I wanted to follow up a little bit on what Kathy said, just to let everyone know the figures from our study. This study showed that Erie County would save over $8 million annually on health care costs. The city of over $180,000 annually, and the school district of Corey almost $3 million annually. This is on employee health care costs. While everyone in the community would receive comprehensive health care, this would replace all health insurance premiums. So we are a nonprofit organization available to discuss this in detail with anyone, and very happy for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
David Mitchell, 124 Chestnut Street, Corey, Pennsylvania. Again, for those who weren't here earlier, thank you for coming out to this meeting. Thank you to council for being here, Mr. Leone, and for Scott setting this up. One thing that, because of time, I did not have a chance to brief you on is that one of the key components that you're involved in with our success is ECRA. ECRA has been aggressive in the last 2 years on getting grants out into the county. We have benefited from grants from ECRA. It's moving us ahead in some key projects. And thank you for appointing the board members and having a working board there. But I just wanted you to know that for us, that's a very successful operation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Anyone else? Once, twice, third and last time. Anyone? If not, thank you very much. Next is the minute. We have no minutes from the previous meeting, so let's go to the report of county officials. County executive and, or their designee.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Nothing from the county executive's office. Okay, Carl, I think you, wait a minute, before that, let's go to Finance Committee. Carl Anderson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met on July 18th and present tonight under new business items A through F and items O through V. And that ends my report for tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Any comments from members of council? If not, let's go on to the Personnel Committee. Mrs. Fatika.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Personnel Committee met on July 18th at the conclusion of the Finance Committee meeting, and we agreed to put under new business items G through M on tonight's agenda. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Comments from any council members? If not, we'll go to other. That's Carl Anderson. Carl?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you recognizing me tonight and particularly being here in Corey, as this is my first meeting in Corey as an elected member of council, and I have some very deep and fond memories of Corey. My father spent the first half of my life working here in Corey at McGinnis Steel Company beginning in 1967 and retiring in 1993. My father loved McGinnis Steel, and he loved the people that he worked with. He was very active in the Corey community as a member of the Honor Guard and other office positions at the VFW Club up until the time that he was sick. And he loved being a veteran and loved being part and being welcomed in the Corey community. I spent many of my youthful days here at the Corey Historical Society and the VFW, and I have a deep appreciation for Corey. It's always special in my heart. And furthermore, my third great-grandfather, Joseph Bunville, and his son-in-law, B.W. Stennett, ran the B.W. Stennett department store here in Corey, which was at one time an entire city block and was the largest department store in Erie County. So my family has deep connections to Corey, and I will always remember Corey, and Corey has a soft spot in my heart. I also would like to recognize and congratulate Mayor and former County Council member Dave Mitchell for all of the activity and positive things that are happening here in Corey, particularly the blue zones, which I think all of Erie County should thank Jen Eberline, who without her efforts, the blue zones would not have come to Erie and been able to take the solid foothold that they now have in Erie County, particularly in Corey. So we want to thank you for that. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize my old friend, Richard Bud Sopine, the Chief of Police. He and I played baseball together from the time we were 9 years old until we could probably no longer play anymore. But, anyway, it's
10?
it's great to see you, Bud, and all that you're doing down here in Corey. All the folks from the Lower East Side of Erie are proud of you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Carl. Ray indicated he's not going to have a report. So let's go on to the new business. Have a second reading.
Mr. Chairman, actually,
Sorry.
before we do,
We need to,
move tonight's agenda to make second readings of ordinances number 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
moved by Dr. Kyle Faust and seconded by Carl Anderson to make these second readings. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes?
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Now let's go on to second reading of ordinance 43 in title, ordinance 39 in title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 39, 2019, 20th, 2019 general fund budget, supplemental appropriation of $20,000 for PCOM Safety Improvement Program grant.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Carol Law, seconded by Kathy Fatika. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 43, Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading ordinance 40 in title only, please.
The second reading of ordinance number 40, 2019, 6th, 2019 library fund budget, supplemental appropriation of $15,000 for Friends of the Library donation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Carl Anderson, seconded by Andre Horton. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 40, Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes?
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 41 in title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 41, 2019 library fund budget, revised revenue of $1,300 from Idea Lab and miscellaneous income.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Andre Horton, seconded by Kathy Fatika. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 41, Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes?
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading, ordinance 42 in title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 42, 2019, 7th, 2019 library fund budget, supplemental appropriation of $500 for branch rental fees.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Carol Law, seconded by Andre Horton. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 42, Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes?
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Chairman Leone,
Yes. Next, second reading of ordinance 43 in title only.
the second reading of ordinance number 43, 2019, first 2019 Public Safety Fund budget, supplemental appropriation of 4 instant message boards donated by the Northwest Pennsylvania Emergency Response Group.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Carol Law, seconded by Kathy Fatika. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 43, Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Chairman Leone,
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 44 in title only, please.
the second reading of ordinance number 44, 2019, second 2019 Public Safety Fund budget, supplemental appropriation of trailer donated by NWPA ERG.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Anderson,
Second?
seconded by Kathy Fatika. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 44, Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Chairman Leone,
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 45 in title only.
the second reading of ordinance number 45, 2019, first 2019 general fund budget, supplemental appropriation of $14,361 for reorganization of public defender's office.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Andre Horton, seconded by Carl Anderson. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 45, Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Chairman Leone.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 46 in title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 46, 2019, first 2019 appointed official salary ordinance, full-time assistant public defender.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Carol Law, seconded by Andre Horton. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 46, Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Chairman Leone.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 47 in title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 47, 2019, first 2019 appointed official salary ordinance, part-time assistant public defender.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Carol Law, seconded by Andre Horton. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 47, Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Chairman Leone.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 48, title only.
The second reading of ordinance number 48, 2019, first 2019 appointed official salary ordinance, first assistant public defender.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Andre Horton, seconded by Carl Anderson. Any comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to comment in the last 4 ordinances that we put through here in the Public Defender's Office. just to recognize here in Corey the work that the Public Defender's Office does for all of Erie County. You know, they have a third of the budget, the size of the District Attorney's Office, yet their success rate many times eclipses the size of their budget and their personnel. And it's due to the hard work of all the people in the Public Defender's Office and the cause that they believe in, that all persons deserve to have equal representation under the law and are proven innocent, or are innocent until proven guilty. And so I just want to commend publicly the Public Defender's Office for the work that they do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, roll call.
On ordinance 48, Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 49 and title only, please.
The second reading of ordinance number 49, 2019, first 2019 general fund budget, supplemental appropriation of $26,043 for creation of sheriff resource officer position, Corey Area School District.
So moved. Second?
Moved by Carol Lowe, seconded by Kathy Fatika. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 49, Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
No. Next is second reading of ordinance 50. Title only, please.
A second reading of ordinance number 50, 2019. Approval of a 4-year agreement between the Erie Court Association of Professional Employees and the County of Erie.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Kathy Fatika, seconded by Carl Anderson. Comments? Roll call.
Ordinance 50, Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 51. Title only, please.
A second reading of ordinance number 51, 2019. Approval of changes to non-bargaining employee personnel policies and procedures, number 28, sick days, paid termination, and retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kathy Fatika and seconded by Andre Orton. Comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 51, Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 52 and title only.
Second reading of ordinance number 52, 2019. Approval of changes to non-bargaining employee personnel policies and procedures, number 14, master's degree, professional certification pay.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kathy Fatika, seconded by Andre Orton. Any comments? Roll call.
On ordinance 52, Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes.
Oh,
Next is resolution 24. Title only, please.
Resolution number 24, 2019, approving real estate tax settlement between the Parks, Board of Assessment Appeals of Erie County, Mill Creek Township, County of Erie, and the Mill Creek Township School Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kathy Patika, seconded by Carol Law. Comments? Roll call on the resolution.
On Resolution 24, Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes. Next is Resolution 25, in title only, please.
Resolution number 25, 2019, approving real estate tax settlement between Yorktown Station LLC, Board of Assessment Appeals of Erie County, Mill Creek Township, County of Erie, and the Mill Creek Township School District.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Kathy Patika, seconded by Carol Law. Comments? Roll call.
On Resolution 25, Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Dr. Faust.
move to approve all the sale from the parcels from repository according to the index numbers listed in our agenda tonight. Those are items Q through V in our agenda.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Moved by Dr. Faust, seconded by Carol Law. Comments? If not, roll call on the approval of all.
On the sale of parcels, Mr. Rastetter,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mrs. Fatika,
Yes.
Dr. Faust,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mrs. Law,
Yes.
Chairman Leon.
Yes, before we adjourn, I'd just like to say, it's nice to see a good crowd coming to the county council meeting. Most of our meetings, when we hold them in Erie, there aren't too many people that show up. It's nice to see that everybody has some interest at least in county council, and I think that should all be attributed to Dave Mitchell, who's done an excellent job, and I appreciate it.
People of Corey, they're interested.
Mr. Chair, before you adjourn,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to thank all the other elected officials and just the citizens of Corey, too, for coming out and just for the wonderful, wonderful things that are happening in Erie County. Erie County is on the move, and we're moving in the right direction. There are pockets of hope that are springing up other places, but I just admonish you not to forget those that are less fortunate, even here in the city of Corey. Don't leave them behind.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Move to adjourn by Carl. Yep.